Today we're talking to Rob Oliver.
Rob Oliver.
An e-com entrepreneur that sold his first business for $30 million at age 26, professional life maxer, and brand builder.
Collectively, the portfolio company did close to $100 million in the last 12 months.
Wow. What makes a video go viral on short form?
Can you snag attention? Can you pattern interrupt? Can you...
He's revealing things that he's never publicly shared before.
There's a great 12 months in front of us where an idiot can become a millionaire, like me.
Are there any things you do to help with your taxes?
I live in Puerto Rico. My name is Rob Oliver, Rob the Bank on Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. 32-year-old entrepreneur who's been building brands on the internet since 24 years old, almost a decade.
Can you tell me more about what businesses you currently run?
I build brands, digitally native, Amazon FBA, TikTok Shop, any products that people see on there. That's been kind of my specialty.
So how'd you get started as an entrepreneur?
I saw that my uncle was making ridiculous money helping consumer electronic brands sell on Amazon. Whatever he's doing, I feel like I should be able to do. Like, he had a boat, a big house, and I'm like, this looks like a good life. And that was kind of the start of my whole journey of realizing that it's not really about like your intelligence or your hard work. It's about finding the right thing at the right time. And so I saw he was succeeding on Amazon. I ventured over there. I realized you could sell literally anything on there. I loved health supplements at the time. I was like into the whole bodybuilding, that whole space. And I just started calling up supplement brands. I'm like, hey, my name's Robert Oliver. I'm an Amazon FBA expert. Let me help you. Most said no. I got a couple brands on there. It turned out to be just like an absolute money printer. Fast forward like a year, these brands weren't moving fast enough for me. I started my own, and that was kind of the start of my whole journey.
What brand did you start?
The Genius brand was like my first big one. I had a portfolio company of 3 different supplement brands.
Before we talk more about like the old playbook and what you would do now to make money, can you just talk about like your childhood and what you were like as a kid and how that led to where you are today?
I was a very late bloomer. I was socially like uncomfortable. I was bullied frequently and just had a hard time like really fitting in. I feel like it put a chip on my shoulder. It made me different. I'm a very introverted person, and so I have to like work to make friends and all that stuff. College, I started to develop more. I walked onto the basketball team. Again, didn't fit in, but kind of like, how can I fit in and how can I, sometimes that comes up. Like I can be this guy in a company of private equity and sounding one way, and then talking to my friends like, what's that accent? Or what's that, like.
So you said that you're introverted, but if you look at social media, they wouldn't consider you probably introverted?
No, not at all. Yeah.
Extroverted. So how do you create that persona? That's
the cool part of social media. A lot of the time people think like, oh, you're playing a character, or you're this or that. And really it's just an amplified expression of who I am. Just because I'm introverted doesn't mean I'm not passionate. Doesn't mean I don't want people to see me and like think anything's possible. Like that is why I do it. I have very strong goals. I have like a burning desire in my soul to do something positive in the world. I had very strong Christian parents who I love and they love me, but it came with challenges as I wanted to live my life. And so for me, I don't know, it's beautiful to be able to use the internet to stand up to that and put yourself out there.
What's a misconception that people probably have about Rob Oliver?
I'm a very nice guy. Like people that know me well, they'll say that. And I think I come across on the internet as kind of scary. Like I've realized this over the last year. Like I'm like an intimidating figure. You see me on the street, come say what's up. Like I'd love to shake your hand and be nice.
Let's talk about some of the like really tough parts of building your businesses, because obviously entrepreneurship is very tough. What are some of those like points where you're like, I want to quit, I don't know if I can keep doing this, and what'd you learn from that?
Let's get real. In the last 90 days, I've probably lost $15 to $20 million in personal net worth. Like wiped off the face of the earth. You go from a business making a couple $1,000,000 a month to like, oh, we're sorting through bankruptcy and working on exit packages for employees that stake their life on this. Had like a relationship fall apart where I thought highly of this girl, didn't work out. And my mom gets a cancer diagnosis like a month ago. This is in 90 days. And I go from like a all-time year last year, 100 million plus in revenue, like just skyrocketing to like all these challenges. Like that is the beauty of entrepreneurship, but that's the beauty of life. I look at entrepreneurship and so many people are tied to these outcomes. Like they just want to go from A to B and then they think they'll be happy. A, you won't be happy. It's like, what's next? You need to look at the entire entrepreneurship journey and life as a dance. And like, how are you growing and enjoying and finding rhythm in the entire thing? People want to be the thing. People want to be the multimillionaire. People want all of the stuff. But for whatever reason, there's a disconnect in what they think it takes to actually get there. The sooner we learn to not identify with things not going well and just accept it as part of our journey and growth, you become damn near invincible.
Tell us about some of your business wins.
The biggest one by far was exiting that portfolio of supplement companies. I sold it to private equity at 26 years old. It was a double-digit, 8-figure exit for me. Kind of when I realized that this whole internet thing, it's like for real, right? Like that was generational kids money good. That's not $10,000 a month. That's tens of millions of dollars from finding the right thing.
So what other current projects are you working on?
So what happens I call them gold rush windows. Amazon FBA was that first gold rush window. I'm this dumb kid building these companies. It gets more saturated. As the sophisticated people pour in, it gets more difficult. I've kind of kept my eyes open. There was a 2-year period where it was very difficult. And then TikTok Shop emerges. And so I'm largely running the exact same playbook, the exact same world, but TikTok Shop is now the vocal point.
What are some of the brands you're working on?
Evil Goods, Top Shelf. Collectively, the portfolio company did close to $100 million in the last 12 months.
Wow. What's the blueprint? Where's the opportunity with TikTok? How can you create these brands so fast and like crush it?
I started the Genius brand with $5,000. 2 products, positive cash flow, double down. Now it's easier because AI and TikTok. And so I'll give you an example of like a student. They're looking at TikTok Shop and they're going like, what's inherently viral? And if you scroll enough and you're not a consumer, you're an observer, you're gonna see popping off on there. Like Ashton Hall with the mouth tape. My student had already seen the mouth tape thing trending. And so he sees that popping up and he's like, wow, there's no big brands on TikTok Shop yet. And my whole thing is like, okay, take an idea, make it 3% better. It's the Virgil Abloh rule. So he takes mouth tape, he simply adds lavender to the, relaxation. He uses AI to design the entire thing, pays a designer to put the final thing on there, orders 1,000 units at $2 a piece. He's in at $2,000 and launches on TikTok Shop. And now on TikTok Shop, you don't need ads. The way it works is affiliates making videos.
Okay.
And so his little brother and this girl he knows start making videos for free. And if they pop off and they go viral, they get a commission. But long story short, within 60 days, he's doing $100,000 a month.
Now rewinding back, like how do you actually build a product?
There are people that are in the business, their entire business built around making that product for you. Like contract manufacturers, that's what they do. How do you make a beef tallow? You Google beauty cream contract manufacturer, pages and pages and pages of people that do that, and you call them. That's the starting point for actually finding the manufacturer. Take your inspirations, like what you would view as a consumer, and bring that forward because you are the consumer. Make a brand that you would buy.
How much money does someone need to get started with like a rather simple product?
You can start a brand for less than $5,000. Some categories you can't go after. Like something like beef tallow, like the minimum with a manufacturer is going to be a lot harder or higher. Like they'll want you to order a couple thousand units at $5 a piece. But the mouth tape one is just a great example of someone doing this with pure hustle, not paying creators right out of the gate, doing all of it and making shit happen.
So for anyone that wants to emulate this whole thing, what software should they be looking at?
So if you start with Callow data, it's better than anything I had back in the day on Amazon. It's plugged into the TikTok API. So you can go in there, not only can you see highest performing products by category, like you can see who's selling. More importantly, you can see the affiliates that are doing numbers for these people. Because that's really the magic in all of this. Like what affiliates can you get making videos for your products, right? Like that's where you get scale.
What makes a product be able to go viral on TikTok?
You need to be able to understand it in 3 seconds and buy it in 10. And so if it checks those boxes, then the next best piece is can you tie into some emotional vulnerability?
What types of commissions do you recommend paying out to the affiliates?
I recommend doing like 30-40% right off the jump. Once something's seen a couple times, it just converts much better. So it's easier money for them. At that point, you can scale it back to 20-15%.
So let's say once the product stabilizes, starts getting sales on TikTok, what are like the profit margins? How much are you paying to each thing?
Yeah, it all depends on the category. We can think of something like the mouth tape. I mean, net, they're still gonna end up 30-40%. The gross margin of just TikTok plus the creators is probably like 50%. Let's call it $3 per mouth tape. They sell it for 20. You pay your creator 20%, so $4, 16. Shipping and TikTok fees, call it another 4. You're in it $3. Your net is 12. You're making $9 a unit.
So what makes a video go viral on short form?
That first 3 seconds, can you snag attention? Can you pattern interrupt? And then can you retain?
What are some of the biggest mistakes people make when launching their own product?
I don't see people order enough inventory. You order 1,000 mouth tape things and then your video goes viral and you're 500 down, you got 500 left. You have a choice, reinvest that profit and buy more inventory or be trigger shy. And I really do see people afraid to full send it when there's activity. I see people greedy with creators. I see people nickel and diming, like, oh, I don't want to give 30% or 40%. That's probably actually the number one problem. Not treating the creator armies with respect and making sure they make money. You got to make sure they eat before you.
How long do you think this like gold mine opportunity will last for?
There's a great 12 months in front of us where an idiot can become a millionaire, like me. Like even as my voice is heard more, like I am closing the window. And it's like, well, why do that if you have such an edge here? Well, I want to invest in these brands. And then it won't go away. Like even the next 12 months after that, it just gets periodically more difficult.
What things are you working on in the business? What things are you working on the business?
I'm trying to only work on the business.
Okay.
At this stage. For the startup entrepreneur, I was a in the weeds guy with genius. I did it all myself. And that's why I couldn't grow. And I was like so hesitant to hand to talent. And then I realized that actually creates like a really life. And then even when I'd hire people, I'd micromanage. I wouldn't let people, bring their talents to the game.
Yeah.
If someone's doing that job 70%, it's kind of my threshold, it's okay. Because now you have 100% of your time free. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not exactly how you do it. And I do have very high standards. I want it perfect. But again, you have to be okay knowing like, look, not everyone owns the business. It's just, that's life.
As a business owner, what does your current team look like?
We have the social media side, Rob the Bank. Like there is infrastructure behind that. And then there's the brand side. And I guess there's two components of that too. There's like the investment group. And so I have like an operator there. Okay. Then we also have operational support, finance and supply chain. And there's like a marketing wizard in there. And so it's 11 people on that side.
Okay.
And then there's some there's some crossover with the Rob the Bank team too on content and all that. But there's 13 or 14 people working on me.
And what softwares are you using?
I've tried to set up my entire life to run on Slack. I have different channels in there where reports come in every day. Like each brand posts a daily report. Obviously Dropbox, Callow data.
Yeah.
The simpler you can be, the more efficient you're gonna be.
A lot of people might be interested about taxes.
Yeah.
Are there any things you do to help with your taxes?
I live in Puerto Rico. That's my primary residence. I live there most of the year. I pay 4% federal income tax and no capital gains.
That's crazy.
That's it.
Wow.
And you living in California know how hard it is to get ahead and become wealthy while writing the government a huge check. And I know like
by far my biggest expense.
By far.
Right, yeah.
And so living in Puerto Rico, I've been there 4 years now. You see it happen real time. I have to make considerably less money to build considerably more wealth.
Yeah. How do you qualify for that?
You just live there half of the year.
That's it?
Yes, 168 days.
Okay.
But here, there's all sorts of nice things in that. If I spend a month out of the country, not the United States, that counts towards my time there. What they're looking for is that it's your primary residence.
Okay.
That you're actually living there. That I'm not fake living in Puerto Rico and hiding over in Miami. And for me, it's like not hard. It's a cool spot. My kids go to a great international school, but those are the things too. Like I couldn't be there and then have my kids going to school in Texas. That ruins the closer ties. Then people are like, that's not really your primary residence.
Right. What does a day look like in the life of Rob?
Well, I travel a lot between Puerto Rico and Miami. I try to build everything around self-love, ironically, but it's training. Like the first thing I need to do wherever I'm at is train. So it's Muay Thai or weights. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of others. And so I always prioritize the first couple hours wherever I'm at for me. And sometimes that evolves into, not just training, but maybe reading. Like some days no one talk to me. Some days I just need my space. And then I just get right into that work component. I jump in, I do what I need to do from like a work standpoint. And then there's usually some creativity or content component to round out the day. When I'm in Puerto Rico, there's obviously, family time. Like I put my daughters to bed or I play with them for a couple hours. I take a lot of pride in trying to keep clear schedule. And so like even some days if I don't feel like doing the content or whatever, like I will the afternoon. And I think that's good for me. Like that will bring better ideas.
As a business owner, what are like the highest ROI tasks you think you do?
I can't stress that taking care of yourself enough. For like a little bit, I was like legit doing dance classes. People need that, like Spanish lessons, whatever it is, like some component to get your neurons dancing. If we're talking straight business, focus on that efficiency component.
What's the number one skill that people need to learn to become successful?
Delegation and obsession. I think obsession in the early stages of like by any means and pouring into a craft, understanding that they are going to have to develop the skills to make it happen. Become obsessed about the actual thing. Become obsessed about how do you turn a profit. And then to scale and like actually live a good life, it starts to become about delegation and automation.
Any top tips for delegation?
Genuinely think about the life you want to live. Like why are you getting into business? Why are you doing this? Like it's not to sit behind a computer all day. Understand the risk of doing it all yourself. Like yeah, it might be successful, but also even if you're worth $100 million and you're sitting behind a computer every single day doing the work that you don't love, was it a good life?
How do you find balance with that? Because if someone wants to do a lot of stuff, how can they maximize their time and how can they actually like reach all those goals?
I think you find your capacity for where you can move the needle forward, and you find that pretty quick, right? If you're making no progress in anything, reflect. Like introspection is very key on this journey. You have to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I wanted to do music 2 years ago. I wasn't there yet. The personal brand wasn't there yet. All the other pieces, they weren't. First, I had to become a really good content creator. First, I had to understand the game. And I think just constantly setting yourself up for reflection, introspection. That's the key.
How do you figure out your passions in life?
You need time to explore them. And I think when you are willing to be real and raw with yourself and distill it through that, and you start experimenting in different areas and then have the confidence to full send it, that's where you start realizing your full potential and finding the things that make you happy.
So if you could go back 10 years to your younger self, what would you tell that person?
Stop giving a f. It's funny me saying that because I do think I'm one of the people who looks like I give less of a f, and nowadays I really do. And back then I felt like that, but I still cared what my parents thought. I still cared what certain friends thought, and that limited me. Like really, like it's gonna be okay. It's you versus you at the end of it. It's only gonna be you when you die. Let go of all that stuff now. You'll be happier. Who cares about embarrassment? Who cares about fear? Like send it.
What are some life hacks that you use on a day-to-day basis?
I have a high filter for things that do not move my life forward. I'm not afraid to not respond to people. I'm not afraid to just shut off. To simplify that, it's putting yourself first and accepting that you don't owe anybody in this life. And that's not to say don't be a good person. It's not to say don't do right by people, but it's not feeling that weight and guilt of owing people something.
If you had to start all over again with nothing, what would you do?
When I started on Amazon, I started helping other brands, right? Like that's kind of how I learned the game. They were paying me commission. What is the equivalent of that today? Being one of these freelance TikTok creators. I have paid kids 20, 30 grand in a single month, you know, for making videos for me. I'd learn the skills, launch the product myself. I'd have the skills, damn near guarantees your chance of success, build that enterprise value up, and potentially sell something to private equity again.
The whole clipping thing is blowing up. What is that all about, and like does it actually work?
People don't go on Google anymore. People don't like songs, artists, personal brands, everything is being discovered by short form content. It's how many times can you be seen? So how can you game that algorithm to constantly be viral? And so clipping at the center of it, it's the practice of people spending time trying to curate viral clips. Remember when Sam Solik, the bodybuilder? Horrible. Who's watching this? Like 3 hours of him just talking into the thing. People don't understand that's because people are clipping it. He was so viral on TikTok, those slight moments, that it was fueling the YouTube growth. It was fueling the personal brand. And so yeah, it absolutely works. It's a complex game, but it's gonna continue to reverberate in every industry we know it. It's gonna reshape the world.
How do you invest your money?
I made a pretty good bet on Bitcoin after I sold my brand. Right now I'm a little too heavy in real estate, and then everything else just index funds. Like super chill. A little too heavy in real estate. I got a lot of Puerto Rican real estate. I'm trying to offload.
What's the dumbest thing you've ever bought?
I spent $36,000 at 11, the club here in Miami, a couple weekends ago.
Okay.
Like I thought we were splitting the table. I thought some shit was, that was dumb. Like that bothered me on a fundamental level. Like whatever though.
So conversely, what's the best thing you've spent your money on?
There's been a couple, like, you know, one, I bought this house in Texas. It wasn't the house, it was the proximity to my mentor. I moved there because I got this billionaire mentor who I really enjoy spending time around, and to be in that same country club and, you know, go get lunch with them once a week.
How important has networking been for your growth as an entrepreneur? And then how can people start surrounding themselves with more people like that?
Not very. I think people that like focus on networking or like social climbing, I think it's an empty whack life. Like most of my good stuff has come from making myself of value, like, you know, becoming the Amazon whiz kid at a young age. Like that's why my mentor, that's why we were connected. You know, same industry, he's an older guy. He's curious on what's working in this new world. And so it's mutually beneficial.
Do you have any resources that can help people that want to build a dream life?
I try to pour it for free in content. Like you go through my YouTube, there's tutorials, there's like a lot of it. There's lifestyle stuff, there's all this philosophical life maxing. At the center of like the whole Rob the Bank thing, there's $1 Million Brand Club, which is where I'm ultimately using it for investments, but that's like the private mentorship, right?
Okay.
You come in there, you join, we have hours and hours of material, live coaching calls, all this good stuff. I guess that's like kind of the next level. But if you're in my general ecosystem, bro, like there is content galore.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I learned so much talking to Rob, and it's really got me wanting to start my own e-com brand with TikTok. He mentioned this in the video, but if you want to learn from Rob himself, the GOAT of building brands, I'll link that down below for you guys. Anyways, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. If you got any value from the video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. My whole goal is to help you guys become financially successful. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.